should be much better. They're both down lower, closer to the keel. I can only get so close, unfortunately. There's a lot of tar down in there, which is good, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of lumpy. I managed to fit both of them in depressions left by bilge pumps, which were mounted back there in the past. I kind of like them being farther back, the actual pumps. And we're looking at, I unplugged this thing a couple hours ago. I'm going to leave it sitting in here because it's going to start raining early in the morning. And I want to just make sure that these can keep up with this little bit of leaks I still have. I'm going to try to throw some more Sikaflex on the deck this evening. But I want to take care of that switch panel first. I also replaced that old Rule-O-Matic. The old Rule-O-Matic was acting up, and it's ancient. That's not new. The port side switch and both pumps are new. But now everything's new. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. See, the problem here is I can only get that thing so low, and without a check valve, a lot comes back. Quite a bit comes back, but it's not the end of the world. Currently a little more water on the starboard side because she's got a bit of a list. It's not because of the water. I think the water is because of the list. Forward, it's quite dry on both sides. I mean, you can see water, but it's not like there's a big puddle here that's causing her to list. I think she's just not evenly ballasted at the moment in terms of load. She's still riding high. And I've taken a lot of stuff out, and a lot of stuff's going to go back. That's not the end of the world. We're not fixing to go sailing anytime soon, and it's not like she's going to roll over. Wednesday now. Had quite a bit of rain this morning. I even covered the engine because we still got some aft deck leaking going on. I'm going to let that dry out a little bit. I may or may not this evening put some more Sikaflex up there. Might do it in the morning and then go home. When it was raining, yeah, the pumps were going off quite a bit more often than before. But since it stopped, I've seen the first hour and a half interval without a cycle of a pump, which is great. That's the new record. That beats where she was at when I bought her. So I guess I made some improvement. You can see by the angle of the water line there over the deadwood that we still have that list to starboard. I'm going to move some stuff around today to see if that helps a little bit. I'm not worried about it. I think it's just a question of reestablishing her balance, her distribution of weight inside. Well, it's Sunday. I got here last night pretty late, anticipating a couple of days of sporty weather aboard the boat. There's not much I can do in these conditions, but I just wanted to come down and keep an eye on her. We're dealing with a northeast gale, I guess. It's been blowing steady in the high 20s and will continue to do so all through tomorrow. The rain is just now starting, but it didn't rain last night. When I got here, I was surprised to see that somebody had added some more spring lines and some anti-chafe gear to my two primary, the bow and stern lines that are on the windward side, which is probably a very good idea. I brought my last two fenders with me. I deployed one of them on the port side because we're getting pushed very close to that piling. I forgot to bring my other bumper board, but I don't know if we're going to need it. In a couple hours, the wind is going to peak. Well, it's forecast to peak, and then it's going to sort of taper off overnight, but the rain is going to be heavy and steady all day tomorrow. So my primary mission throughout the day is going to be to just keep an eye on topside leaks, if any. The good news is, with the wind coming pretty much on the bow, half the aft deck is still dry right now, but that's going to change when the water really starts coming down steady. It's going to get gnarly, I think. but she's holding her own very well. I wish the wind were more on the nose. I'm a little worried that we got a lot of strain on that starboard mooring line, but there is a spring taking about half of that right now. So, oh, it turns out I did around 6 this morning. I woke up and poked my head out, and there was Bill, and apparently he and the guys, I guess, he and somebody did all that, added those extra lines for me, I guess yesterday or the day before maybe. It's probably a good thing they did, but that's the reason I came down here. I was prepared to have to add lines. I might still double up the starboard bow line. I've got some more rope I can do that with. I did check the marine forecast for seas out in the mouth of the river, and they were calling for, I don't know, 2 to 3 meter, maybe bigger seas with the heavier gusts. But we got some little white horses rolling into the river. Not a big deal. She's not taking any more water. The bilge pumps are now down to I don't know, 2 to 3 hour schedule, which is great. She's not creaking or groaning. I don't even hear the Samson post groaning under the stress of that mooring line, so that's great. She's not rolling at all, of course, really being tied up, but she's horsing quite a bit, even with the bow and stern tied down more or less. She's definitely horsey. Tahitis are known for that. It doesn't bother me. I slept pretty well last night. I do unfortunately have to go out in the rain and get more provisions. I didn't quite prepare properly. I got a hot plate. It's still in the van. I got to set that up and try to do some cooking instead of going out twice a day for food. It's going to be difficult. The biggest problem with the weather as it is right now, tied up here, is getting on and off the boat, because the dock is on the windward side. And to get on the boat last night, I had to throw a line to a cleat and haul the boat closer. Couldn't really do it with the spring lines because of the angles. So it's going to be interesting. Even if I could leap on and off the boat from the dock, which I don't think I could do even when I was younger, it's a bit of a gap. There's so many spring lines right now, it will be impossible to avoid tripping over them. In a little bit, yeah, I'm going to make a provision run and then prepare to hunker down here for like 30 hours. Just keeping an eye on her and enjoying her riding so well in this mess. So yeah, I haven't been worried about her too much. I haven't had to reset any of the lines. You can't tell, well, you can probably tell in this shot how close the rudder is to that dock. That's my only, the only thing that gives me a chill right now is if when the bow line, that bow line parts, she's going to go straight back into the dock, which would be really bad. I spent a lot of time and effort on that rudder. It's a shame to have something happen to it. But I can't really move her. The only way to move her forward, well, yeah, I'd need another boat to try to pull her forward, and it would get hairy because we'd have to untie everything else. It wouldn't be worth the trouble. The only reason she's back so far is to keep the bowsprit clear of the last piling. But I think when things calm down, before I leave this week, I'm going to look into bringing her forward a little bit more, perhaps. Just a little extra. Bottom line is, my plan to come visit the boat at least once a week is a good one. It's going to be necessary. I can't count on everybody here to take care of her for me. Well, I pulled it off somehow. Later when this blows over, I'll show you what I did with another line to draw the boat to the dock. It's still blowing like 20-ish or better. It's probably gonna slack off tonight, but the gusts are, I don't know, 35 maybe. It's interesting. The sea state is the same, little white caps, but driving relentlessly right on the starboard bow. I'm gonna unpack what I got here and set up my little galley, my little makeshift temporary galley. Cook breakfast probably. Yeah, it's not even 1 p.m. It's time for breakfast. Yeah, this is temporary. I want to have an induction cooktop with a working gimbal setup. I'm using the gimbal points to mount it, but it's not gimbaling. It doesn't need to be. We're not rolling much at all. We're pitching. This thing was super cheap though, and it'll do for now. I have it on an extension cord. I intend to mount another outlet, probably not right here, somewhere in this vicinity, maybe underneath for the cooktop and other stuff. Right now I only have the one outlet on the starboard side. It's going to be okay. I don't think we're going to pop a breaker. I'm only going to use one burner at a time. This backup drawer is broken. I'll throw them in right now. Try to get some grease out of them. I also got some chicken and pasta for later. Nothing fancy, very bare bones. I'm not a fancy cook anyway. Well, I'm not a cook of any kind. Someday I'll have this set up better. I'll have ice in the ice box at least, if not electric refrigeration. I'll have a clue what I'm doing. I'll have better pantry storage. Well, I thought I'd be clever and get some spray on coconut oil, but it seems that something went terribly wrong. The cap came off in transit and it just emptied itself, but it's still good. It was only yesterday. Let's go in there. I don't think I wouldn't consider this. Well, you know what? If I put this in a Ziploc bag, I bet it'll be fine. Boy, that really, every last speck of it came out. There you go. We can call that a pro tip. Empty your spray coconut oil into a Ziploc bag. Let's put that in there. I gotta clean up. Where did I get it on? I got it on everything. Not my balls. The rest of my cooking gear. That's fine. I like coconut oil. It's all right. Got that thing. Got the lid for that. Oh, looks like the rain's abated a little bit. Trying to open this, but I can't. I screwed it down too tight. It's all right, as long as nothing gets smoky, it won't be a problem. Aha! Counter space. Eggs. Turn those. No, I don't have a metal fork on board yet. Turn that up a little bit. I'm trying to cut down on the beef and pork because of an episode of gout from over a week ago that really messed me up. Haven't given up beer completely, but I've cut my consumption considerably. I figure if I have to choose between beef and pork or beer, I'll be eating a lot of chicken and turkey and other sources of protein. I've been eating a lot of salads this last week. All right. Yum, yum. First real meal prepared aboard. I've done instant oatmeal before on the hard and coffee, but this is the first like multi-ingredient stovetop thing. A momentous day, my friends. It will resound in the annals. Let's get some oil over that. Wash that up for real later. Let it soak a bit. Well, it's almost 4 now, and I noticed the wind And it looks like the wind is clocking around more to the north than the swell. We're finally not laid up. I might just go take a shower. I really need a shower. It's about 11 a.m. Monday, and the wind has picked up some more, but we're holding our own. Rain is still relentless. The rain's going to continue into tomorrow, but the wind will probably start to back off a little bit this evening. It's going to be a while. I'm trying to think of little projects to do, even though it's motion. Actually, just past low tide. High tide is until 5:30 p.m. Look at that. Just looking at a massive surge here. The wind is driving tons of water out of the bay into the river. Yeah, because normally at low tide, you see air underneath that dock. It's about noon now, and kind of wish I had an anemometer because I'm really curious. The wind is definitely not 27 miles an hour. The gusts are pretty huge, and I didn't see it coming, but I felt it. We just got slapped with a pretty good sized wave. There's actually some sets coming in now. Even Big Nina over there is starting to pitch. I hadn't noticed much movement at all the last couple of days, but she's all right. Ingrid's aboard. All is well over there. It's Wednesday now, and I'm still here. Yesterday, it was still a very gray, kind of damp day. I spent a lot of the day, unfortunately, troubleshooting my van, which decided, as it has done a couple times in the last few years, that when it gets really wet, when it's sitting in the rain, it just won't start. Finally got it started last night. But I took care of a few things. I brought the engine room furniture back on the boat, possibly prematurely. I just kind of felt like doing it. And I also, having just received them yesterday, installed one of these guys on the starboard side. This is a Seaflow low profile bilge pump, and so far I really like it. I couldn't place it exactly where I wanted to. I'll explain that in a minute, but the features of this thing are pretty awesome. You can position the head anywhere you want. You can position the outflow relative to it any way you want. The motor comes off, leaving the thing still mounted, which is kind of cool. They're only 1,100 gallons per hour, not 1,500, but I think they'll be fine. I put one of them in yesterday afternoon, and it's doing great. I've heard it go off a couple times. The boat is getting tighter and tighter. It's kind of amazing. Knock wood. Anyway, I'm going to put this guy in now and then take care of a few other things. Instead of a separate float switch, it has a water sensor, and you can actually test it by touching these 2 points. Because of the height of water needed to trigger this thing, I can't quite keep the level of water in the bilge as low as I would like. It's just a little bit lower than with the old setup. But these come with their own check valve, which actually fits inside the fitting for the outflow. It's a what do you call it? Try something, kind of like a heart valve, actually. The old ones didn't have check valves. The external check valves I had were pretty useless. So at the very least, I don't get the backflow that I was getting before, which is great. I'm going to keep the old ones. I'm probably going to keep the old float switches where they are in case in some emergency I need to hook up one of the old ones. Well, let me get started on installing this guy. But first, some more explanation. Ideally, it would be great to put it right here. You can sort of see that I had to compromise by putting it at a slight angle, but the water sensor part is still pretty high. Not ideal, but it'll do. It would be great to have them here. The problem is I'd have to drill 2 holes in this and 2 holes in this of about that size. It's like almost 2 inches to accommodate the hoses. And I really don't want to do that. Not to mention I don't have the right kind of drill to do that. And I don't want to buy one just to make more frickin' holes in the structure of the boat. This is a lower part of the build, so yeah, I think it's all going to work out just fine. There are other pumps that have sort of a remote head, and the pump can be mounted anywhere you like, pretty much, wherever you can run a hose to. They're wildly expensive, though. I don't think they're worth it at this time, but something to consider in the future if this doesn't work out. Something's moving us. There must be a wake of a boat going by in the river. Other than that sort of thing, it's been very calm the last day and a half. Almost too calm. I got so used to the motion of the boat. Anywho's, I'm going to remove this and mount the other one and then clean up all this wiring again. I'll probably pull these wires back or something. Yeah, I'll probably bag them and stick them in here so they're not in the way. I'm going to leave the float switches for now. Yeah, I've changed my mind, decided to go with the elbow fitting. I already put one on the other side. I noticed that one is leaking around the seal a little bit. I'm not sure why. I made it as tight as I could. We'll see if this one leaks. I think I've figured out the proper technique for installing these. You obviously have to mount it with the motor out. But I also found that it's a lot easier to get this fitted and tightened on without the motor there. It should be tight enough. I'm going to get it wired up. I'm just going to rig the wires just for a quick test. I'm curious if this one leaks too. It may be, it doesn't say in the paperwork, but it's possible that there's some sort of pinhole deal to prevent an airlock. Because once it gets going, it kind of doesn't leak, but when it initially starts going, it's definitely gushing out from under this collar. It's weeping at the very top. This one is still... Oh, no, it's not doing it. Yeah, there it is. That's so weird. I've got that as... Is it too tight? I looked at the check valve also acts as a gasket, the lip of it. It's not damaged or anything. I'm not crazy about that. It's not a lot of leaking, but it's enough. Well, there's not enough water in there now to... We'll revisit that. I'll keep an eye on it. Well, I was right. There is a little pinhole, but the other one doesn't leak at all. So I don't get it. I guess it is what it is. I've already mangled it, tightening it and loosening it with the vice grips. Maybe getting them as low as I can. It's not necessarily the best idea. Not now. Not now. Not now. Probably just a scammer anyway. I need to change the angle of this slightly anyhow because I almost couldn't get the motor out. I'm going to have to turn it a little bit that way. Actually, I can't tighten it anymore because it's physically limited by that thing. I know there's still water in the hose, so I think... I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the back pressure on this particular run, or... It's not letting it all back in. The check valve is working, so I'm just going to live with this and keep an eye on it.